Hey, you too. Welcome back to the channel. This is the Real Nathan Daly, and we have another law enforcement body cam reaction to do. And this one's a very interesting one. It's very unique. It's out of Alabama. This is different, you guys. This took place during a football game and involving the police and the band director. And once again, like I say all the time, comply to survive. It's a very simple quote that I use to express the fact that when you are wrong and you are caught by the police, it is always in your best interest to just comply, right? It's safer, everybody's safe, it's less of a problem. The police are safe, you're safe, and then you live to fight another day, right? What ends up happening is people refuse to comply. Even when they're wrong, they don't want to comply. After a level of force has been used on the suspect in order to gain compliance, what tends to happen is the aftermath of that is the suspect will come back and complain about the level of force that was used in order to detain them. You guys, so I always say comply to survive, right? Because you can't control the officer's actions. You can only control your actions. And so if you control the decision that you make, you can then alleviate any type of pain compliance that is going to be used on you in order to effect the arrest. And that's what we see in this video. So listen, before I play the video, guys, listen, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video. It's very important for the YouTube algorithm. All right, so let's play the video. And I want to know what you think, right? Is this considered excessive force? Are the officers wrong? And, you know, I want to know your thoughts. But also a couple things to consider. The officers are working at the stadium, right? They are providing security. They're there for a reason. Unfortunately, guys, at these games, football games, people get into fights. There have been shootouts at these games. The police are there to protect and provide safety and security. That's what they're there for. Part of removing people out of the stadium when the stadium is closed or when the games are over is for the safety of everybody. So apparently, according to the backstory, is that the game was approximately over for about 15 to 20 minutes, right? The game's over. So we're talking 20 minutes later, the game's over. And you can see the field is empty. All the players are gone. Majority of people have left. And the police are saying they're trying to escort everybody out of the stadium. Both schools are still playing. Well, the police went over to the home school and told them, hey, you got to stop playing. We need you to exit the stadium. Guess what? They complied. Then the police go over to the visiting team's director, band director, and said, hey, you got to stop playing. We need everybody to exit the stadium. He said, nah, I'm not. Not until after I finish playing. They're like, no, sir, we need you to shut it down. You guys, they asked him several times. He refused. Lights go off. The police advise him he's under arrest for disorderly conduct, I believe. I would have charged him with trespassing after that point, as officers want you to tell someone to leave, and you have authority to do that in that area. You've been given authority. Then, you know, you're in violation. So anyways, he resists arrest. He gets tased, and now he's making, you know, a big deal about it. And a lot of people are also voicing their opinion. So that's the backstory. All right. So let's play the video and let me get your thoughts.
On September 14th after a local football game. According to the Birmingham Police Department, the football game had been over for more than 10 minutes, and officers were attempting to get the high school band to vacate the stadium. One Birmingham police officer approaches one of the instructors from the minor high school band and tells them they have to leave. As the band music plays louder, that's when the officer approaches another man, later identified as high school band director Johnny Mims. After the officer issues another warning to Mims to wrap up, a second officer approaches Mims to issue the same warning and says they will get the school involved if they don't leave.
I'm gonna come back to school.
After going back and forth with the officers, Mims signals the band to keep playing their song.
God,
Hey, 1, 2,
okay.
hey, 1, 2, ready.
Okay.
Despite the continuous warnings, the lights to the football field are then shut off, but Mims continues to let the song play out to the very last note.
Wow.
Seconds later, a confrontation happens as police attempt to arrest Mims. Then you can see what appears to be a student tell officers to leave Mims alone.
Oh my God.
The scuffle continues as police get a handcuff on Mims, but are unable to secure the other side.
Tell him to stop. Tell him to stop. Calm down, bro. Open the door. We got to open it, man. We got to go, man. Let's get open it. Let's get open it, man. Hit the officer, okay? He's going to jail. Look back there. He's going to jail. He hit the officer. He got to go to jail. He swung on the officer. I did not swing on the officer, man. Y'all driving alone.
A male officer can be heard issuing a final warning to Mims that he's going to jail, and that's when he deploys his taser 3 times. The Birmingham Police Department says Mims was treated at the scene and taken to a local hospital before being transported to jail. He was arrested and charged with disorderly conduct, harassment, and resisting arrest. Johnny Mims told ABC's Good Morning America that the police used excessive force and that he feared for his life. The Birmingham Police Department's Internal Affairs Division is investigating the incident.
Okay. That song was fire, though. That song was that. Listen, the song was good. I'm not gonna lie, the song was good. Okay. So what we got? What we got, you guys? Wow. You were asked to leave. Okay. You guys, listen. If you're asked to leave, this goes, it doesn't matter where you're at, right? Like if the police have a lawful reason or legal reason to tell you to disperse, you got to disperse. I'll tell you what the band director's explanation was. He said that he and the other school, or the homeschool band director, had an agreement that they were going to play what they call, I guess, the 5th quarter or something like that, or there's a term they use, I can't remember, but anyways, it means that they're going to keep playing until everybody's gone, right? Like they keep playing till everybody's gone. Apparently that's like a band tradition. I mean, I'm not against it, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think it's a big deal up until someone tells you when it's time to go home, right? Like you can't, I don't know what it is about some people. It's entitlement, you guys, where you feel like you can do whatever you want to do. Like it doesn't work like that. When you're in someone else's establishment, this is school grounds. You have the police officers who are there. They are hired to do a job. They have authority that was granted to them by the school to enforce their rules. They have a right to enforce trespassing rules as well. Give trespassing warnings, you guys. This is a fact. So if the place is closed, It's no different in any business, right? If you're patrons and you're hanging out at a business, inside the business, and the business owner's like, hey, you guys, it's closed. It's midnight. We're shutting down. We need everybody to leave. Oh, well, we're going to leave in 30 minutes. We don't feel like leaving right now. Sir, we need you to leave. Please, we're asking you nicely, or we're going to have to call the police. The police show up. They then get permission from the actual owners to say, I gave them warnings. I need them to leave. Guess what the police are going to do? We're going to say the same things, you guys. We're going to say, hey, the owner wants you gone. If you refuse to leave, you're going to be trespassing. If you're trespassing, then guess what? You're going to be put in handcuffs. You guys, this is not a surprise. The officers asked the band director several times, hey, can you shut it down? You can hear him negotiating with them in the beginning. Listen, I'm not trying to be whatever, but it's time for you guys to go. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if they remotely turn those lights off. Sometimes those things are on a timer. So if the officers knew that, there's two things, right? The lights are on a timer, because if they purposely cut the time off, that would have been an issue, I think. That's an issue for me, because that creates a safety issue for a lot of different reasons. But a lot of times those stadiums are on a timer. Also, in reference to the sound, you guys, it could be a noise ordinance. There's an issue with the noise. They're past certain time. Maybe the game ran over. And so maybe they weren't able to give them that grace period to kind of keep playing. Regardless of what it was, it doesn't matter. Regardless of how you feel, it doesn't matter. If the police came up and said, hey, you guys, we need everybody to move out, you don't know why they're asking you that. Regardless, that's not the time to argue. I think what this shows is it is a reflection of this thing that's going through the people, where some people feel like rules don't apply to them. I think the band director should be ashamed of himself for the simple fact that he left a very bad impression and a horrible example to the kids that actually look up to him. He is, in a sense, he's a teacher, he's an instructor, he's a role model for these students. I think he did a horrible job being a leader and a representative, not only to his students, but also to the school that he represents. You guys, that's a fact. It's unprofessional, it's tacky, and it showed a level of disrespect to authority. Whether you agree with it or not, this is not your home school. So you don't know what their rules are, right? You're inserting yourself as a person who doesn't give a damn. The officers were professional in the beginning. Of course, he cursed at him and things like that. That's a whole nother story. But let's take it step by step. I see the band director getting fired from his school, you guys, absolutely getting fired behind this. The question is going to be, the police asked that you guys shut it down. Guess what? The other band director shut it down. There was no arguments there. Hey, you guys, we're shutting it down. We got to move y'all out. We're running out of time. Time's up, whatever. What if he had to do that because the lights were going off, it's getting dark, it's a problem? What if there was something going on? You don't know, right? You just don't know. But you don't need to know that. What you do need to know is that you were given a command to leave, and if you didn't leave, there was going to be consequences. A lot of people are going to ask, were the officers in the right to be able to execute that type of instruction or give that instruction and that order or that command? Well, yes, if they are hired to work there at the venue and they were instructed that by this time we need to shut it down and everybody needs to start moving out, I don't see why the band director would deliberately disobey the command to stop playing and end it, right? The question, though, is you could see the ego of the band director during the police encounter. And you guys, when egos clash with egos, it never works out well. He told the officer, Get out my face. Right? Get out my face. Whew. There has to have been some other exchange that took place prior to this. Either that or that this brother is just bold, right? So you're not going to be able to have a solid justification when you have the other band director who had no problem following the lawful instructions of a representative for the stadium. Just not. So when you play it, we have right here the original contact. The officer is saying to him, hey, listen, we got to shut it down. We got to get everybody out of here. All you have to do is make a quick, hey, y'all, listen, we got to shut it down. Do the little signal. He didn't care. All right, he didn't care. So we're going to talk about now the level of force. What we can argue is that the band director is wrong. He's wrong. You might not agree with the officers telling him that he had to cut. That's fine. You could feel any kind of way you want. You can feel any kind of way you want. The officers told him that he was going to be placed under arrest. The officers feel like they have enough evidence to support the charge. He tells him, you're going to go to jail. You're under arrest. And then the band director's like, all right, sure, cool. Whatever, that's cool. But we're going to finish this song, though. We're going to do what we want to do. Fine, that's cool. The officer tells him right here.
Get out my face. That's okay. I got my troops coming. I got my troops coming. They're going to sweep that down. Okay?
After the officer issues another warning to Mims to wrap up, a second officer approaches Mims to issue the same warning and says they will get the school involved if they don't leave.
You guys, he's trespassing. Whether you like it or not, he is trespassing. This isn't about a race thing. I know we like to insert color, right? This is black officers dealing with a black school, dealing with a black band director. And the black band director has no respect for the police. We want to make things about race, but this black man doesn't respect this black man who's talking to him. Let's start there, you guys. Everybody always wants to throw color in it. What we see here, if we want to talk about color, is black people not respecting black people. The officer initially was very professional. He asked everybody who should have control and instructional power over the band. They're waving and telling the band to stop playing. The band is looking at their leader. They go and talk to the leader, and the leader throws up his middle finger at the police and say, get out of my face. Then they come by, someone else comes by and ask him, sir, we need you to stop. We need you to shut it down. We're going to get the superintendent involved. I don't give a dun, 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 dun. Run it, run it, run it. This is him. You guys, the disrespect is next level. Come on. He's been warned several times. This black man doesn't respect black people. Is that a stretch? Maybe. Maybe. But the reality is he doesn't care about the authority. What does he say? Get out my face. Yikes. Get out my face. That's unprofessional. We finna go. It's our last song. So I'm going to argue that why wouldn't you just give him time to finish his last song? Listen, I'm not there. Everybody's going to handle it different. We don't know why the officers are telling them they got to shut it down. The lights possibly could be on the top. We don't know. That's not even important. That's not important, right? Don't lose yourself in the minutia, you guys. Don't. All right. There's a reason why they're being asked that they need to shut it down. And they were very, very professional about it. It's up until now when we got to do the job Now it's time to do the job that you said you was okay with. This is what the brother said. The officer shouldn't have said that, but it is what it is, right? We're already in it. We in it now. The officer should have still maintained professional character, period, right? What you gonna do about it now? You've shown that this man has pissed you off, and now you probably gonna start taking this a little personal. Despite that, he just told him, listen, you'll go to jail if you don't cooperate. Okay.
After going back and forth with the officers, Mims signals the band to keep playing their song.
After threatened with jail, the brother says, keep it running. Run it back. You guys, this is it. Okay, so again, the song was supposed to finish. He then signaled for one more song. You're going to jail, sir.
After going back and forth with the officers, Mims signals the band to keep playing their song.
They got to go. Hey, 1, 2, hey, 1, 2, ready,
Despite the continuous warnings, the lights to the football field are then shut off, but Mims continues to let the song play out to the very last note.
And a blaze of glory, he went out. You guys, this is what Black privilege looks like. When it comes to us as Black people, let me tell you something that I've noticed. That we believe laws don't apply to us. There's some of us who believe that laws, rules, and authority have no purpose on us. This is what Black privilege looks like. This is what it looks like. This is Black privilege 101. And then when it's time to face the consequence, now you did me wrong. The hypocrisy. This is what we call like a walking oxymoron. Cognitive dissonance at its maximum. Sir, if you don't stop, you're going to go to jail. Cool. Do what you got to do. Sir, you're under arrest. It's time to go to jail. Like we talked about. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Sir, we had this conversation 5 minutes ago. You are all game. You're under arrest. What'd he say? Now, all of a sudden, now it's screaming and cartwheeling, falling down. Sir, I don't want to hear it, you guys. I don't want to hear it. He wanted to do the whole, he's going on the blaze of glory. Okay, it's over.
Seconds later, a confrontation happens as police attempt to arrest Mims. Then you can see what appears to be a student tell officers to leave Mims alone. The scuffle continues as police get a handcuff on Mims.
So one handcuff was on him. See, the media is trying to portray this as, I love how they do this. Black band director gets tased for refusing to stop playing music at the football game. No. Just like the lady who got shot by the police for shoplifting. Black pregnant woman gets shot by the police for shoplifting. You guys, the media loves to remove the part that caused a person to get shot in the first place. Remove the part That explains why the officer had to use force in the first place. The band director got tased, not because he refused to stop playing. He got tased because he was resisting arrest. That's why he got tased, you guys. The officers were extremely patient. The excessive force, I don't see it. I don't see it. Because he was given multiple opportunities to cooperate, to comply, and he refused right here.
But are unable to secure the other side.
That means they had one handcuff on and they're like, yo, give me your other hand. Give me your other hand. Everybody who was preventing me from arresting him is also going to jail. You guys, listen, I'm good at the job, but I'll lock you up. All right. Don't get it twisted. I know I advocate and I explain both sides, but anybody who prevented me from locking it up at that game, you will become part with these handcuffs. You guys, don't get it twisted. I'm very polite and respectful on how I execute the job. Nonetheless, if you are interfering with me locking him up, you getting some of these cuffs too. We can all go together. I'm an equal opportunist. It seems like some folks didn't go to jail that should have went to jail. I don't know. I don't know all the details. I'm just telling you what I would have done. If you are interfering with me putting handcuffs on him, I see too many bodies holding him back. I don't understand what's going on. You guys, and I was a king of pepper spray. I will spray you. All right, I'll spray you in a heartbeat. You would wish I tased you. The spray is we called it devil's piss. Devil's piss. So the idea is this: people are saying excessive force. The force has to be objectively reasonable. It has to be reasonable. The officer tased him. What things am I looking at here? I'm looking at the crowd. I'm looking at his ability to resist, hand on hand, me being able to take him, manipulate his hands in order to get him in handcuffs. So what does the taser do? The taser is a device that it incapacitates the musculatory system. That's what it does. All right. When that electricity goes through you, that's it. You're all up in here, just like that. Bring it all together, and then you're hitting the ground. And you're going to see that in this video. The officers are telling, tell him to stop. You guys, this is a part of giving commands, of asking the suspect to cooperate. That's not excessive. Tell him to stop. Tell him to stop resisting. Tell him to put his hands behind his back. Looks good to me. It's funny, just early when he was out there performing in front of the band, he was all willing, throwing these wolf tickets out, that he was willing to go to jail behind his actions. My thing is just go peacefully, right? If you make a stand, I'm all for it. Stand up for what you believe in. Just cooperate. Listen, you're right. Yeah, okay, I'm ready. I said I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. But this right here, nah, you wasn't ready to go, player. You wasn't ready to go because clearly your actions don't show that. And so now you have security that's there. You have people from the school, his school looks like, trying to defuse the situation.
He hit the officer. He got to go to jail. He swung on the officer. I did not swing on the officer.
The officer is accused of swinging on the officer. I don't know if that's true or not. I think the report that the statement that I read from the police chief said that he pushed the officer. He didn't punch the officer. So, so that's what I'm going with. Whatever the police chief said, he has to know more than we do. So in order to clear that up.
A male officer can be heard issuing a.
So off to the right, you see the officer, which is the supervisor. He has the taser out. He already has it out. He's telling him they got one handcuff on him. They got the taser out. He was told several times he's going to jail. You guys, I'm sorry. Comply to survive. He's not cooperating. Light him up with the taser. Absolutely.
Final warning to Mims that he's going to jail. And that's when he deploys his taser 3 times.
Turned his back. He got one handcuff on. That's security that's holding him. He's telling him to comply. He says, look, officer says again, put your hands behind your back. And he got the taser out. He doesn't listen.
The Birmingham Police Department says Mims was treated at the scene and taken to a local hospital before being transported to jail. He was arrested and charged with disorderly conduct, harassment, and resisting arrest.
So apparently one officer tased him twice and a third officer tased him a third time. Would that be considered excessive force? It depends. It depends based on the body cam. Obviously, we only see half of it or a portion of it. There's going to be another portion as to why there was additional tasing. Depending on the explanation of the officers, depending on the evidence that's there at the scene, will determine whether or not the other two were appropriate and were they needed. I have tased people more than once on several different occasions, and it was all justified. And so the purpose of the taser is to assist the officer so they can apply the handcuffs and gain compliance. In our policy, we were not supposed to tase, I think, more than 3 times per individual and collectively. Once you realize the taser is not being effective, then you're supposed to stop, because it is less lethal, but it can be lethal if not careful. Someone can die from being over-tased. So the excessive force is going to be dependent on the circumstances at the time. Is it possible it could be considered excessive? Yes, depending on whether or not the suspect was in a position to cooperate. He was cooperating, and the officers still decided to tase him anyways. Or if the officers were attempting to place him under arrest and he was resisting that in the moment and they tased him again. The only way where it's going to be considered excessive is if he was in a posture of compliance and the officers did it anyways. That's the only time I could see it. So let me ask you guys, at the end of the day, we only get so much information, but based off what we see, were the police wrong? Were they wrong for asking him to leave? Do you believe the police were professional? Do you believe the police used excessive force? Do you believe based on this, they could have found another way to deal with them? What are your thoughts? And do you think the band director was out of line? Right? So I want to know your thoughts, you guys. I'm really curious. You already know how we do it in the comment section. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And with that, let these truths find you where the lies have left you. Good night. God bless.